Tomorrow's my B-day, so let's make the most extra birthday cake ever, baked Alaska. To start, go ahead and grab whatever size bowl you prefer, then cut out an equal sized piece of cake. This is a homemade chocolate sponge cake, but you can use whatever your favorite cake is. Either way, cover your bowl with plastic wrap, then grab your favorite type of ice cream. I'm using homemade strawberry vanilla bean ice cream. Go ahead and pack that into your plastic wrap bowl, top that with your favorite cake, then into your freezer for 1 hour. 1 hour later, make your meringue by combining egg whites, lemon juice, salt, cream of tartar, and white granulated sugar in a large stand mixer bowl. Beat that until very stiff peaks have formed and it's looking pretty marshmallowy. Then cover your frozen ice cream with a thick but even layer of your meringue. Once it's styled to your liking, gently torch the outside using a kitchen torch. Then grab your favorite 160 proof or higher alcohol of choice, set that ablaze, pour some right over the top, follow for more recipes, and wish me a happy birthday, because brown sugared balsamic glazed salmon is a dish you gotta try. I could eat this every day of the week, no problem. You're gonna need an almost 2-pound fillet of wild caught salmon. Ask your butcher very nicely to remove any pin bones. Now spray a large baking tray very generously with oil, drop on your salmon, then hit it with a teaspoon of olive oil, rub that in, then go in with a half cup of light brown sugar, followed by the rest of the ingredients on screen. Gently rub until your fish is well coated, cover very tightly with aluminum foil, then slide that into a preheated 375 degree Fahrenheit oven for 17 minutes. Now go ahead and mince up a few garlic cloves, zest up a large lemon, then add in the ingredients you see on screen into a medium heat saucepan. Go ahead and reduce that until the liquid has reduced by half, then add in 2 tablespoons of butter. Raise your heat, then constantly stir until it looks just like this. Remember, it's going to thicken as it cools. Asparagus is like the perfect veg for this. Simply chop off the tough parts, season with olive oil, your favorite seasonings, then saute over medium-high heat until done to your liking. Only 17 minutes later, remove your salmon, remove the aluminum foil, then add a generous amount of your balsamic glaze. Adjust your oven to its high broil setting, then slide that back in for 2 minutes or until brown to your liking. I served this with lemon butter noodles, perfectly sauteed asparagus. I added more of that delicious glaze, and I finished with some freshly minced parsley, and this was an incredible dinner.
If holiday leftovers were drier than a bone this season, then look, do yourself a favor and make turkey salad. It's the most easy, delicious way to save dry turkey. All you gotta do is finally chop up some celery. I got a bunch of green onions. Go ahead and thinly slice the green onions, getting even thinner when you get closer to the root end. I got a turkey breast and a turkey wing, but really you can use whatever part of the turkey you like. Either way, go ahead and process that into smaller pieces. Then you wanna go ahead and dump it into a bowl, adding relish, mayo, salt, and pepper, more or less, depending on how much you like. Mix until well combined. I love sweet relish, so I'm gonna add a little more relish. And look, tell me what you would add to this in the comments, and trust me, here's how to make some creamy, buttery, delicious, homemade mashed potatoes. First thing you're going to need is 3.5 pounds of Yukon Gold or butter potatoes. That's about 6 medium-sized potatoes. Go ahead and peel those, wash off all the dirt and debris that you can, then dice them up into small but even-sized pieces like this. Then dump those cut potatoes into cold water. That'll stop them from turning brown. Now dump your potatoes into a large pot, cover them with water and a tablespoon of fine sea salt. Then simmer gently for 15 to 20 minutes until one of your bigger potato pieces is easily pierceable with a paring knife or a dining fork like this. Drain all of your excess water, then add in a few roasted garlic cloves along with 1/2 cup of warmed heavy cream combined with 1/2 stick of unsalted butter. Add in your warm cream butter mixture until your desired consistency has been achieved. I finished with salt, white pepper, black pepper, homemade poultry gravy, and freshly chopped green onions. Here's how to make a show-stoppingly delicious orange pineapple cake with homemade buttercream icing. So first, you're going to need some par-dried fresh orange slices and some canned crushed pineapple, which has also kind of been dried out. You don't want your fruit to be very wet for this. Dice up your oranges, then add in some precisely measured cake flour to a large bowl, followed by your baking soda, baking powder, and just a little salt. Whisk your dry ingredients until well combined, then set those aside. Next, measure out some clear neutral oil along with your orange juice, then add in your eggs. Dump all of that into a large bowl, add in your orange zest and vanilla extract, and whisk until well combined. After that, add in your buttermilk and sugar, and once your sugar has been well incorporated, put down your power mixer. Gently fold in your par-dried orange and pineapple pieces, then hand whisk your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients until it looks something like this. Spray some 9-inch pans with non-stick spray, then equally divide your cake mix between the two pans. Bake them in a preheated 350 degree Fahrenheit oven until the middles read 200 degrees Fahrenheit on the kitchen thermometer, then let them fully cool before icing/decorating.
You can make better marinara sauce at home and it's super easy. All you gotta do is add a 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil to a medium heat stainless steel pan. Then add half a large diced yellow onion, cook that for 3 to 4 minutes. Then add 5 cloves of freshly minced garlic. Add a sprinkle of red pepper flakes, then cook until the garlic is golden brown. As soon as it is, add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, then cook that for 1 minute. After 1 minute, add 2 large cans of Italian tomatoes. Add 3 tablespoons of water, swish it around in those cans on some grandma-ish, then add that water into the sauce. Then we add dried oregano, dried basil, Italian seasoning, black pepper, fresh parsley, garlic powder, and onion powder. Give it a stir, then crush most of the whole tomatoes while they're still cool. Add on a lid, then let that simmer over medium heat for 45 minutes, stirring occasionally. After 45 minutes, give it a taste. At this point, add salt and pepper until it tastes absolutely insane. Then finish with 3 tablespoons of high quality extra virgin olive oil. If you want it less thick, simply hit it with an immersion blender. These are the best buffalo wings ever. Start with high quality butter, melt that over medium heat. Melted butter goes into a blender cup. This is homemade hot sauce made from homegrown peppers. Add less sauce than you think you're gonna need. Garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper. Blend on high speed for 30 seconds until smooth. Needs more hot sauce, some smoked paprika. Blend 30 more seconds and it's a beautiful deep orange color. We give it a taste, season one last time, shake it up, then set that aside. Next, the wings. 2 pounds of party wings, pat dry with paper towels, enough olive oil to cover them all, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper, enough for both sides. Just enough potato starch to lightly coat the wings. Give them a toss, then into a preheated 450-degree air fryer for 25 minutes. Get them lost in that sauce. Give them a good toss. These wings are so juicy and so flavorful that I believe you can make better chicken parm at home, and it's super easy. All you gotta do is grab 2 chicken breasts, cover them with plastic wrap, then pound them until evenly thin. Season them with a small amount of coarse salt, some white pepper, some garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. Pat that in, and you want to do that to both sides. Then carefully crack 4 eggs, add half a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, give that a whisk, then add all-purpose flour and panko breadcrumbs. Dip your chicken in the egg mix, shake it off, then into the plain flour, shake it off, then back into the egg mix, and you guessed it, shake it off. And finally, coat your chicken very well with panko breadcrumbs. Good quality extra virgin olive oil, get that heated to at least 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it is, carefully lowering your chicken, then cook until each side is golden brown and crispy. Drop that on some paper towels or even a cooling rack to avoid sogginess. Then top it with fresh parm and a lot of mozz, then into a 450-degree oven until melted. This is al dente angel hair pasta with my homemade marinara sauce from last video. Give it a toss, then we plate up the chicken parm, more of that delicious marinara sauce right on top, then we finish with a little parsley. You can make pizza dough in only 10 minutes. This entire pizza is only going to take you 30 minutes and it's super easy. First thing you want to do is grab some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, then hit them with olive oil, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and ground fennel seed. Then go ahead and season both sides the exact same way. Then into a 10-inch cast iron skillet, add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Add your chicken, then into a 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for 15 minutes. Now to a large bowl, add flour, baking powder, and salt, then mix until well combined. Make a well, then add olive oil, honey, and water. Give that a little stir until everything starts to come together. Then go in with your hands and knead that for 2 to 3 minutes or until you have a smooth ball. Now go ahead and cover your ball and let that rest for at least 5 minutes. 15 minutes later, the chicken is completely cooked, so go ahead and remove that from your pan to let it cool. Then into that same pan over medium-high heat, add a little olive oil, some sliced white mushrooms, a pinch of coarse salt, then cook for 2 to 3 minutes, adding oil as necessary until they look just like this. Now go ahead and chop up your chicken into bite-sized pieces, then into a 12-inch cast iron skillet, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, smear that around until your pan is completely coated, then slide that into a preheated 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for just 5 minutes. In the meantime, heavily flour your work surface with AP flour, then drop on your rested dough ball, add a little flour on top, make sure to flour your rolling pin, then go ahead and roll that out until it has a roughly 12-inch diameter. Now go ahead and carefully lift that up, then drop that straight into your hot cast iron pan. Now quickly pat that out until it's an even thickness in the center, then form what's going to be the crust. Once it looks something like this, go ahead and add on a 1/4 cup of your favorite pizza sauce, some whole milk low moisture mozzarella cheese, some of that delicious baked chicken, some of your sauteed mushrooms, finish with finely diced red onion, pat all of your ingredients down, then into that same 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 10 minutes or until it looks something like this. As soon as it comes out of the oven, go ahead and brush down that crust with some good garlic butter, then finish her off with some Parmigiano Reggiano. That's just fancy Parmesan cheese. Look, this honestly tastes better than most frozen and fast food pizza. Give this recipe a try and let me know what you think.